Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Table 18 podcast. My name is Cutty, and that is...
Damon Conklin. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's up, D? How was your weekend?
It was good, man. I did all things punk rock.
All things punk rock.
Went to a couple shows, went to the punk rock flea market, bought a Grateful Dead Kennedy shirt. Hell yeah.
Nice. Dude. Punk rock girls?
I mean, I saw a couple old friends. Yeah.
There you go. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So we got a question today. Are you ready for it?
I was born ready for
Okay, this is basically based on a lot of the shit in our comments, okay? So I had a conversation the other day with a gentleman.
Yeah.
And he told me, a person-to-person conversation, he told me, the Seattle freeze isn't real. And he had moved here. He goes,
Okay.
He had moved here saying, Seattle freeze isn't real if you actually try to make yourself part of the deal. The deal's not going to come to you. You have to go to the deal. You actually have to work to do it.
Right, right.
So my question to you is the Seattle freeze real or is it not?
I'm going to, if I had to answer it in one word, I would say yes.
Oh.
The thing is this, what we call the Seattle freeze, I think is just our personality in the Northwest, where if you go to any cloudy, overcast place in the world, you're going to find people that are more quiet and more reserved and spend more time indoors. And so they're less socially motivated or, you know, and so on the one hand, I would say that like calling it a Seattle freeze functions like any other complaint, which is that it tends to absolve the complainer of responsibility.
Ooh. So it's like it's a both and situation.
Which is why I always try to choose a mindset of like, well, let's skip all the complaints and let's see what I can do about it. But that's not realistically how the masses are going to do things, you know?
Absolutely.
So yes, there is a Seattle freeze. Yes, it is easy to overcome.
And that was his point. He had moved here. Originally, it was from Texas, but he'd lived all over the world.
Yeah. And Texas has a Seattle sunshine. You know, I mean, a Texas fucking warmth. They're known for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And his take was like, I had no problem whatsoever. And maybe that's because he was from Texas and he was willing to be, you know, outgoing and gregarious and all that stuff.
It's a sunny place. It's socially motivated. Families are strong. They talk a lot to each other.
So speaking of families being strong, my take on the Seattle freeze is, I mean, classically, a lot of the original natives here were not the indigenous folks, the people that had moved in.
Yeah.
Right. They were Norwegian and Scandinavian fisher families and lumberjack families.
Right.
So they had very small enclaves where they kind of just stuck to themselves. This was the frontier
and
at one point.
And culturally stoic people.
Yeah.
More so than like Spaniards or Italians or, you know, like,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that there's a little bit of this and that. Like, I've seen people get frozen out, but I've also seen people move here and almost demand that the locals kind of, you know, pay attention to them. Like they're pick-me girl. If you're a pick-me girl, you're probably going to come up against some freeze because what's that? Like,
we don't really go for that so much.
Not so much. Well, let's ask our guest.
Let's do it. Yeah.
What do you think, Wezees? Louise Hansen, what do you think? Is there a Seattle freeze?
I would also say yes.
And you've been here your whole life.
Yes, born and raised in Beacon Hill, Seattle. I've experienced the freeze more so lately than from originally in Seattle.
Interesting.
I mean, I just had an experience with this yesterday. I went to the boat dock and I saw a gentleman with his dog. Mm-hmm. I said, "Hey there, good morning." And he said 0 to me. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of chalked it up to he might be socially awkward and not really know what to say.
He might be a dick.
He might be a dick, but I chose to like have a more positive spin on this.
Right. Yeah.
I also live part-time in Tucson. So down there,
snowbirding down there,
it's very different.
Yeah.
If you're in Home Depot, you approach a person, "Hey, love your dog." They'll talk to you for like 5 minutes about their dog.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen here. So
it's funny. We ran into a couple of Brazilians at the coffee shop. They wanted to know how to get to the original Starbucks. Mm-hmm. You know, they're here for World Cup.
Yeah.
And they don't live in Brazil, but they are visiting here for this. And you know, Brazilians are like, we started with directions and we had a full 5-minute conversation that talked about all kinds of things.
Totally. They're notoriously warm too. Every Brazilian I've ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super fun too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've
yeah.
ever been to karaoke or anything, in Brazil. They sing
Oh, yeah.
along, they have their own songs. They
Yeah.
they're very, very outgoing.
Yeah.
So my experience with Brazilians has been very positive.
Yeah, I had a trip where I went to Argentina and Brazil, and I shifted and spent a lot more time in Brazil because they were just funner, and I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
Argentinians were more, I don't know, like
They're more
The
they're
Argentinian
German.
freeze? Oh my God. It's just the Argentinian freeze is a real thing.
Argentine free.
Argentine freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Seattle folks are socially awkward. It may have to do with like tons of people in tech and
Yeah.
they're in their own
Sure.
world, and I agree that being in Seattle, you do have to be indoors a lot and on your own some, and I think that when I'm here all the time, I'm a little more standoffish. So
Yeah.
I get that way too. So I think it's environmental for sure, but
Yeah. I notice myself change when I go to like warmer places.
For sure.
yeah, me too.
And the dark wet's like a very real thing.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Like we get to the dark wet times here, and it's like
Yeah.
you might not see me unless we're close. I'm going to be a translucent ghost.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see me in the background, but I'm going to be like white as shit, fucking, because it's no sun, right? Like,
It's a great place for introspective creativity.
Yep.
And a little less socially rewarding.
but during the summer, man, we max out here.
That's opportunity there.
Yeah,
You got
sure.
to take the
Yeah.
opportunity.
I love it in Seattle in the summer.
There's no place prettier than
There
Seattle
isn't.
in summer.
It's true.
Doesn't exist.
It's true.
Well, on that note, let's. I'm going to introduce our guest. This is fucking Louise Hansen. Weezy, what's up?
Hell yeah.
Tell us about yourself. Louise Hansen is, actually, Louise Hansen was a personal mentor of mine in business. For many years, I worked for Louise, and she taught me everything. The beginning parts of my development in both construction and real estate development came almost directly all from you. You've been a successful real estate developer, real estate agent, builder. You were a plumber and you own a plumbing company. It was a pretty rad plumbing company, kind of a cool social experiment we did for a while. And you're local and you're a native, and we just want to hear, just about you, your story, where you're from, what's it like?
Well, yeah, I'm passionate about real estate, passionate about offering opportunities to folks. I am passionate about creating spaces. It's something that I really enjoy doing. I love working for myself. I feel like for me, I'm kind of ADHD, so I'm like very much need to be interested in what I'm doing.
Same.
And need to be passionate about it. I started out doing residential construction, and then I started doing plumbing as well. Then '08 happened in the recession, and we kind of were left with not very much opportunity in the construction side.
What made you pick plumbing? I know just a little about construction, but like there's a lot of framers and there's a few electricians and almost no plumbers that you know.
Yeah, there are not that many plumbers, and the plumbers that you do know, you don't really like. And
That's fair. That's valid. As someone who was a plumber.
yeah.
Well, they're like, I'm the only one.
Yeah.
Love me or hate me, but you got to hire me.
Yeah, totally.
Right, and that was what I was experiencing in my construction company was just this hardly tolerable interaction with these plumbing companies, or small plumbing, one guy, and I felt like I wanted more control over one of the high ticket items that I was offering to customers, and so I thought if I hired a plumber, then I would be able to control the environment a little better.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how Wezees was born. And like I said, as soon as the recession hit, we didn't have anything going on except for plumbing.
Yeah.
So I focused on that business, and it just got bigger and bigger and kind of took on a life of its own, even though it may not have been, you didn't hear me say that I was passionate about plumbing
Yeah.
because I was not.
And not to get too far ahead of ourselves, I think my take on the situation was there were things that you were passionate about the Wezees bit, but it was more the people that you had brought in and drawn in. And
Absolutely. I mean, I have a passion for reentry, for working with, mostly it's been guys from like work release or recovery.
Sure.
And offering opportunities for a lifestyle that could sustain them and their families.
Yeah.
And I always felt like plumbing was a great opportunity because there's not a ton of people rushing out of high school wanting to get into plumbing. And so,
it's not,
Kids aren't sitting in school going, I want to be elbow deep in shit.
no, for
Like,
real. I can actually speak specifically to that.
Yeah.
Right. So when I got out of prison, I was working at Mod Pizza, and I was trying to get a job as a laborer on a construction site.
right.
I just didn't want to work at a pizza place.
Yeah.
Right. First of all, I was 36. Everybody around me was fucking 22. It felt weird, right? I felt
Yeah.
weird.
Right.
And I just needed to figure out what the fuck I was doing, right?
You're like the old man at the rave.
Oh, dude, it was the old man at the rave for sure. And when I kept bothering this one guy to try to get a laborer's job because my best friend worked for him, and he didn't want to hire me, so he gave my number to Louise. So I got this phone call one day, and had you asked me 3 minutes before she called me, what's the one job you wouldn't want to do? I would have told you plumber, because in my head, I had an idea of what a plumber was.
Yeah.
Ass crack, Mario and Luigi, dirtball, fucking greasy looking guy that comes in and, and it's, for me, this is so telling of who I am. I was like, how the fuck could I ever make that look cool? Right? How can you make plumbing sexy? Right? And it's funny because we ended up having these conversations later on and we somehow managed to make plumbing sexy. That's a different story.
Well, I found it interesting that, like, I was just thinking opportunistically, like, there's a narrow amount of
For
plumbers, so there's a great chance to make money. But Louise immediately started talking about, like, the experience of dealing with and thinking about what a customer is going to enjoy and what you know what I mean? The personal
100%.
aspect of it, which sadly did not cross my mind.
Well, it doesn't. That's the thing, right? And so she called me and she goes, hey, you want to be a plumber? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Right. Cause I just had no,
You're like job not making pizza. Yes.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Right. Put me in, coach. And I will say this, I will say that plumbers, you can make plumbing sexy and, you can.
Are we not going to say laying pipe or any of that? We're
No,
not.
we don't laying pipe part.
Sorry. Beavis and Butthead brain.
Yeah, you come in and you're like, I'm here to fix the pipes.
Yeah.
I will tell you this though, I'm glad that I became a plumber and not an electrician because you guys fucking suck, and I'll leave it at that. Right? Like, hey man, like plumbers will clean up their job
Dad's an electrician, man.
Well, plumbers will clean up their job sites. Those are the two jobs where people vie for.
Yeah.
And anyways, not to get too far down that rabbit hole, but you called me, right? And you were like, hey, do you want to do this plumber thing?
yeah, there was three of you that were around at the same time, and I needed some apprentices. Yep. And so I picked up you and two other guys right around the same time. And it was hard because there's, a lot of new people and just a lot of, different energies.
Strong energies.
Yeah, but it wasn't terrible because, being a female owner and working with these guys, I think if I was a man telling them what to do, I think there would have been a huge problem.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
For sure.
Yeah.
I will.
That it was me. There was some maternal, relationship.
Auntie.
Interesting.
Like
Like
an
auntie. There was auntie vibes.
Okay.
And
or cool older sisters.
and it really kind of touched them, I think, in a way that made them open to trying something new, to learning, from and I don't think they always got along with their journeyman, but sometimes, some relationships formed.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. There was a time that Louise called me into the office and she said, listen, Thorne, I don't care how big of a dickhead he is. You cannot beat up the journeyman. You cannot threaten to beat up the journeyman. We can't do this, right?
Yeah,
And I was so sure I was going to get fired that day.
Yeah.
Because the journeyman was talking bad to me. And and finally I just had enough after like a month. And I told him like, either shut the fuck up or get off the ladder. Cause I'm done with this. Like and he got off the ladder and ran and called Louise. Guards threatened to beat me up. And I had to deal with that.
Well, and I love that, like, you went in there thinking you were going to get fired, but, one of my ongoing things is, like, we talk about it.
Yeah.
For sure. It's easy to go to these thermonuclear options, but let's talk it out. Let's stay here and figure it out.
Well, and I found the relationships to be the most inspirational part of what I was doing.
Yeah.
And the relationships with the customers, what we were creating together, kind of the opportunity it was creating for these guys and for me and for my best friend who's the office manager, and like all of us really together. It was, and my construction company was in shambles, and so it was definitely a way that we could all come together with each other, for each other.
Sure.
And like kind of make this sort of environment that was healing.
It was chaotic and it was harming and it was healing and it was everything.
It was like a family.
It was like a fucked up, great, amazingly fucked up family.
No, that's beautiful. And the idea of within the business model, focusing on the people and the relationships, I mean, that's something that has been proven to be a
huge thing.
A smart way to do it. But you've always been that way, just kind of from your heart with it.
Definitely. I mean, I think for me, like I said, I need to be inspired by what I do.
Yeah.
And if the actual thing I'm doing is not inspiring, then the people, the relationships need to be inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was times where it's like we were barely breaking even.
Yeah.
I ended up eventually just moving into the office and being a lot of things. I was project managing, estimating, blah, 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 doing all kinds of stuff. And sometimes we were just breaking even, but it was enough, right, to get us through. And I think one of the things that made it work, like you said, was there's something about personalities from the streets, dudes, that if one of our friends was about to get in a fight and we were like, hey, stop, he might not listen to us.
Right.
But if there was a woman that he respected that was like, hey, stop,
right,
he might stop.
Absolutely.
And I don't know why that is. Probably because we were all raised by our mamas or whatever, right? A lot of us, right? But that was very much a thing, right? Like, so there were times where one of us would be dinging out. Like I watched, and shout out to Josh. I love you, homie. I watched Josh on a groundworks is where you glue the pipes into the ground.
Okay.
Okay. And I watched Josh on Christmas Eve, the 23rd of December. It's sleeting and pissing down rain.
Right.
He had ran this whole fucking groundwork, and I'm talking hundreds of pounds of pipes.
Right.
And it was wrong by like 2 inches, and I watched him rip the whole thing out of the ground and throw it. And that's it, I quit, I'm done. And I was like, no, we're going to get some coffee.
Right. Yeah.
Because we can't quit. Like, this is what we have.
Yeah. The job has to get done.
The job has to get done, and this is our shot at being human again. This is our shot. And that was really the thing that Louise had pushed from the beginning.
Yeah.
Was like, you'll have a trade. You'll have an ability to negotiate.
Yeah.
Not being a recidivist.
And you'll get to learn it under someone who understands.
Yes.
Yeah. Not someone who's going to judge you for being stressed out about a job, but someone who understands what that's like because they've been through it.
Well, 100%. And stressed out, like, there are things when you're coming back into reality, and we've touched about these a little bit on the show, but like, I was afraid for the first 2 years that I was going to get fired every fucking day. Cause I was just shell shocked, right? Like just was like, the other foot's going to fall. The whole rug's going to be, and it wasn't anybody in particular. It was my shit with reality, with coming back into reality. And I was so dedicated to actually having a good life and actually doing the right thing. I was afraid constantly that it was going to be taken from me.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't get the opportunity to actually follow through with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she, like, you put up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I understand it from a personal experience. I mean, I know, I had some experience of where they were coming from, and I think it's probably one of the most proud moments, especially the three of them, and how good those three individuals are doing in life now is like probably my proudest moment.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
You know.
Appreciate that.
So yeah, I love what happened in the end, and I learned a ton from it too. I mean, I think I learned a lot about boundaries in business, and you know, I'm not sure that I would do it exactly that way again.
I don't think it could be done that way. That was a moment. We had a moment.
It was a moment in time, and I think it was really special. And
Yeah.
It was such a moment that every time we tried to add another,
yeah, it was not.
it wouldn't.
It was not.
Yeah.
There was probably another 50 people that came through those doors.
Yeah.
And it was
And it
never the
just-
same.
It's like trying to put in a fifth Beatle or something.
Yeah, totally. It just wasn't going to work out, right?
Yeah.
And the end was what it was, right? Like, but it was a brilliant fucking experiment, and I learned so much personally about how I wanted to lead from you, and how I didn't want to lead from you, right? From that experience, and I don't mean that.
No, I don't take it anyway.
Yeah, that's just the truth, right? Like, there's things that I learned, and I think part of it was because I can't necessarily emulate somebody else. Like, you got me to a place, and then I was like, I can't lead like this because that's not who I really am. Right? I have to actually play to my strength when I'm leading. Because I went on my next job, I had dozens of people working for me and massive. I mean, like, you set me up to move.
You're not
life.
exactly maternal.
No. Nope.
That's an interesting aspect of my business life, and I don't think there's enough opportunities like that for folks, you know, to change their life and
Not at all.
have it done in a way that's a personal touch. Because I think that's like key to being successful.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like providing like re-entry services, there's a certain amount of, you know, you have your people who just want to like, well, we got to get problem people off the streets, you know, and then there's a little bit of, well, like, you know, maybe we send them in to drug addicts to treatment for 10, 20, 30 days or whatever, but not a lot of like, how do I take this mind that's got a lot of problems from a problematic life, and how do we get that adjusted into like society?
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting point because we've only really, in the United States, seen two polar opposite approaches.
Right.
One is let's lock them up.
Yeah.
Let's give them nothing. Let's take their TV.
Yeah.
Let's let them rot. They're going to learn from
They're
this.
bad, punitive.
Or on the other side, we have this let's do nothing. Let's let it all play out on its own.
Neither of which are very successful.
No, I think both sides, in my opinion, are really in action.
Yeah. Yeah.
The let's lock them up.
Just get them out of our way.
Let's get them out of our hair so we don't have to look at them.
Yeah.
It doesn't require any effort on our part.
Right.
And let's let them live their life on the street. That also requires nothing.
And no compassion. That's just a vacuum of compassion.
Neither way is any responsibility from society as a whole.
Right.
And I'm not saying that people don't care. I'm just not sure people are getting good advice.
Yeah.
Or from what my take from that has always been, I hear people's point of views on stuff, and I'm like, I know you heard that at home. I know
Right,
you've been hearing
right.
that since you were a small child.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily, I mean, there's shit that we learn, but there's a lot of shit that we have to unlearn as we become adults. Because the point is to like be better than the next or the last generation, right?
Ideally. Yeah.
Ideally. And this idea that we're doing these moded ideas where it's like, lock them all up. And then the only response to that is swinging all the way over here to be like doing the exact opposite. So we're showing that we're doing the exact opposite. Comes across as really misguided and performative, right? Like in a way that there's no actual basis in what are you trying to heal here? Because I think what we need to talk about, one of the things Pat Arney brought up, which blew my mind and it still has, is that these people are locked out of the economy.
Right.
Like we're trying to get people back into the economy. we're trying to get people back into quote unquote civilized lifestyle, right?
Having purpose.
Having purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having a reason to not burn the world down constantly. Right. I've seen, you've seen one of the primary ways that people don't burn the world down is they get a little few wins and they start working on some spiritual components inside of themselves. Right. Like, and we're not doing that. It's great that there's these nonprofits for people to do that, but this shouldn't be a donation-based thing, right? We shouldn't have to wait for grants. There should be actual...
There are places in the world that do better.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, Norway.
Yeah.
Norway is first
Any
comes
of the
to mind.
Scandinavian countries, their prisons are about, rehabilitation immediately. They understand that these people are going to be back in their communities, that they need to, encourage them to participate in the economy,
They're given
their
basic human
communities.
respect.
Yeah.
They're taught skills.
Give them inroads to the economy.
Yeah.
Respect.
The contrary, in the United States, they've moved towards like isolation and things that the results turn out, you're releasing someone into the community that's very harmed.
Yeah.
And can be real dangerous. So and then I don't know what we're expecting them to do when we let them out.
Yeah.
you know.
Decide to change all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Face adversity because they've done that so well?
I think everybody understands that if you lock up your child and beat him all his life, he's going to turn into an asshole.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But for some reason, we still think we should do that with people who've made big mistakes with the law.
Yeah. Obvious mistakes.
Yeah.
That everybody understands, even them, most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still think that lock him up and beat him is the answer.
Well, and I think there's a component that I don't think gets talked a lot about from people that have been in prison. There's and you just hit it on the head, there's like a touch. We're a social animal.
Mm-hmm.
Like primates are social animals. There's
Yeah.
like a huge touch factor.
Yeah.
In primate society, there's a huge hug factor. There's a huge bonding factor. That's a very bonding thing for a primate. And we remove that.
Yeah.
All right. So now you've taken an animal out of its actual ability to fucking build bonds, do better, right? And you've deprivated them.
Where psychological wounds get healed when you have those interactions, and they just get worse when you isolate.
100%. And then you take people that obviously have the deepest ones and you put them in jail.
Yeah.
And they put them in the hole, and now they're totally...
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I think that the success of the three people I'm talking about, I think it speaks directly to this, we created a community, we showed up for each other. Mm-hmm. Everybody's very successful.
Yeah.
There's been of those people, there has been no one's gone back to prison. And
It could have gone either way.
yeah, but there's proof that works.
Yeah.
But I don't think that when we make decisions based on impulse, where folks decide this person's in prison, they're going to college. My kid can't even go to college. Why are we giving them college?
Right,
Why
right.
do we allow them to have televisions and all of these things about what's needed for folks to change? I think it's...
You got to feel like a human to start with.
Well, I mean, I think decisions need to be based on research, right? What helps these people not reoffend and apply that instead of these knee-jerk ideas that folks have. I think that studies show that systems like Norway and they just do better.
Well, and whenever someone starts their complaint with, well, my kids can't go to college, so why should they be taught? That isn't, all that's revealing is that now we have two problems.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So let's not say, okay, we have a problem over here. Let's make sure that problem spreads. Let's fix both problems. Let's
That's a
work
great
on them
point.
both. People have a right to be educated.
Absolutely. And one of those classic this or that's exactly what you're saying that has always frustrated me is why do we feed convicts and we don't give children free lunches in school? I don't know. Why don't we do both?
Kids food.
This is a really
is wrong with
asshole
giving
question,
children
right?
food?
Totally, right? The kids in school don't get free lunches, but we fucking feed convicts. It's like, okay, wait.
Well, and you know what? We used to get free lunches.
Yeah,
I was a poor kid. I got free lunches.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just funny to me that that's another prime example of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you're right, like evidence-based stuff is where we need to be going. And while I'm not for huge government necessarily, I would say that like I don't necessarily think it should be on private citizens to fund helping people not go back to prison.
Well, I would say this. I would say that when society as a whole is doing okay, we make more compassionate decisions.
Absolutely.
You know, when we're doing bad, it brings out the dickhead. You know, it really does, you know.
Yeah.
As we see today, you know, like there's a lot of people carrying lots of anger and for good reason. There's a lot to be angry about, but anger doesn't solve problems. It makes
doesn't.
problems.
No, you're right.
It doesn't. What are some things that you would like to see as far as like when you're saying, you know, like more evidence-based or more, I forgot exactly how you put it, but like basically look at what works. What do you think from our time together and our Wezees experiment, the Wezees experiment, what do you think some of the things that you saw in that time could be translated into maybe like a broader?
Well, I think that, you know, I mean, I took some of the burden on myself, you know,
As a private
citizen to offer opportunity to people that you know, weren't 100% on it all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have to say that, you know, the process moving into, you know, them doing well, there were some pitfalls, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
There was a lot of bungling.
there was definitely some challenges, but I think if those types of things could be supplemented to some degree for
people to take their
people,
risk.
yeah. And I know they do offer some programs, and Pat probably knows more about stuff like that, but a lot more focus on supporting an entrepreneur or a business person to bring that to that community.
Yeah.
Because I'm a capitalist, and I believe that, you know, business owners and people who are successful at business can implement things better than government. And I think that government's extremely wasteful.
It's just a big bureaucracy.
And yeah, I mean, you look at like the MHA fees, and
For those who don't know, explain the MHA.
MHA fees are fees that are levied onto contractors and developers who build in multifamily zoning. The fees are exorbitant. They're not a small amount of money, and it's pretty much crippled all development in multifamily zoning since they implemented the fees.
Do you think that's something that favors like the super huge construction conglomerates because they can afford to pay it and
No.
a small business can't, or no?
No, it doesn't matter. It makes everything less affordable, and so it's more affordable to develop single family neighborhoods, and they're using that money supposedly to create low, you know, affordable housing.
Sure.
Yet when they build housing, they
Make it unaffordable.
It costs them twice as much to build housing as it costs an independent developer. So they're crippling development and then wasting the money.
Yeah.
And basically, it's things like that where government struggles to be efficient and effective, and they need to partner with business owners to implement any of these types of programs so that business can sort of drive the car. And if they want business to do something, then they should supplement that piece for employers who employ people like that and offer support.
Second chance companies.
Yeah.
I mean, even regular companies offer some incentives, but you can't, nothing is simplistic. You're not going to say, do this one thing and it's going to solve all these problems. It's create good systems, build upon those systems. And that's the opposite of what has been happening. We take perfectly good systems like housing vouchers, and we basically throw them to the side and say, we're going to reinvent making housing affordable.
What were housing vouchers? How did that work?
If you needed housing, you could get a voucher. You could use that voucher and give it to a landlord, and then you could have a place.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Right.
And those were...
That is painfully simple.
It was painfully simple.
Yeah.
Those were very successful. So why are we reinventing this with a giant fee that's associated with development?
As someone who builds in the city of Seattle, just in general, how do you feel about, we'll say, the last decade of politics in the city?
For affordable housing, I think we haven't done much to change it.
And for the amount that we actually hear that buzz term.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. And it's just as not affordable as it was before.
It's become less affordable.
Yeah. I mean, I could get into the whys of that, and I think that it's, every time they add processes or fees, as soon as you add sprinklers, you add cost.
Yep.
As soon as you add upgrades or changes to codes, electrical code, plumbing code, when you require developers to upgrade infrastructure, you're going to add costs, to development. And in turn, those fees and all those costs are going to cascade to buyers, and it's going to continue to be not affordable. So I don't think rolling back all of that is smart. I mean, I think having building codes and safety and is important.
Yeah.
But when you have the industries that supply those materials to contractors driving those codes to increase their sales, you're kind of allowing these manufacturers of parts, switches, breakers for panels, backflow preventers.
Sure.
Then they're the ones who are getting more money, and housing's continuing to be less affordable.
Yeah.
Because that always is going to get passed on to the end user.
Yeah, there's no world where a developer, I mean, I'll speak for myself, there's no world where I'm going to work for free. I am not going to risk hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of my life to develop a property to make nothing.
Right.
I'll watch TV at home. And
go out on the boat.
That's not happening. So all the costs you add to any part of the process is going to end up on the end user without a doubt. So controlling the cost of development, doing things like supporting business owners, and I mean, even just having the city pay for their own sidewalks could really help to make housing more affordable.
Do the city not pay for sidewalks?
No, the developer pays for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
They pay for water and sewer infrastructure.
Because that's literally like not the homeowner's property, right?
But the developer has to pay for it. So when you buy the house, you're buying that same. So
That's...
Yeah.
That sounds really akin to like protection tax, like
kind of
like,
little muscling going on.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the folks that pass the laws and that implement this kind of thing, I don't know that they truly understand the process start to finish.
Right.
And they really are dismissive of, the developers' concerns. And really, I mean, it's understandable that.
Is this like this in every city in America? Is this an American thing?
I do work in Tucson too, and it's not quite so sophisticated.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's definitely very racketing.
Well, there's always if you need to get something done, if the city needs to get sidewalks, or if the city needs to upgrade their sewage system,
the storm.
If they need an upgrade, they're going to try to find someone to pay for it.
Right.
And believe that the city needs a storm upgrade.
It does. And so they're going to, politicians, as they decide on how to implement these rules, that it comes up, how is this going to get paid for? And so they're going to have to answer these questions.
Right.
And they only have so much of a budget. And so they're going to always try to weasel away into figuring out who else is going to pay for this.
Shit rolls downhill.
Yeah. And so those kinds of things happen too. And now, whether who should be paying for it or not paying for it is a little outside of my pay grade.
Right.
But I will say that impacts affordability.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
To give some context for people who don't know, in 2016, 10 years ago, what was the cost per square foot to build a new home here in Seattle?
Oh, I don't
As
know.
opposed to now today, what the cost?
I mean, it's probably increased by 20% or something.
So it used to be you could build under $200 a square foot here, right? And now it's up to like $325, $350.
It depends on the site. I mean, all sites are really different. I think that's one of the things people ask me all the time is, how many houses can I put on my lot?
Sure.
They say you could put 4. Well, 4 doesn't always fit. Every lot is different.
Yeah.
Anywhere where you're forced to upgrade infrastructure, those costs can really skyrocket. And you could get up to the 350s. But I don't think you can do any better than $275 on absolutely the most simple site, period.
Sure.
And then, the holding costs too are an issue. Getting your permits takes time, and so every day you own a property, you have to pay interest. So the time it takes
holding costs,
the time it takes to get through permitting can really drive the expenses up. So there's a lot of little things that could save costs, but they're complex. And so they're not something a politician's going to really be able to dive into. And they really, really don't believe developers. I mean, I think they think that they're greedy and they're out for as much money as they can possibly get.
Yeah, we've been sold that for a long time. It's
there may be truth to some of them. That may be true. And some are just trying to make a living,
Right.
And so, I mean, I think you have to do your own research, but to discount everything that they say, to villainize them as tree killers and
that's a huge thing here in the city.
There was that instance. There was a person who climbed up the tree and stayed there on someone else's property when the tree was slated to be removed.
Right.
And literally they trespassed on this person's property for days and days. I don't understand it.
It got pretty.
That's wild.
It was wild. Yeah, it was some wild shit.
Yeah.
Do you think the city would be better served with some kind of committee or some kind of body or even someone like yourself possibly running for offices, politics? Someone with your knowledge.
Politics is so the opposite of what I've spent my life doing.
But sometimes it feels like we need those people more than...
And maybe that's not a bad thing. I mean, I would be willing to take a look at it as an option. And I definitely think that I haven't loved either side of the conversation.
For a long time.
For a long time, just based on the choice, what choice do I have? I have, someone like Riker who wants to basically lock everyone up to someone who just wants to put drug addicts in housing and let them go ahead and kill themselves there. Neither one of those things sound appealing, and I haven't heard anyone else with a more sensical approach.
Which is crazy because literally all you need to do is be somewhat in the middle with that.
Well, it sounds to me like those decisions are driven by a scarcity of finance. Like they're just the simplest, laziest options. You know, figuring out like psychological treatment and workplace reentry, and those are just more complex organisms.
Well, it's hard to run on a complex platform.
Like you got to build that,
right?
Yeah,
totally. But it's hard to
It is
to run on a complex platform.
You can't. There's no sound bite for that.
Yeah,
it's all boring. It's all like stuff. That is not sexy.
Someone's platform is going to have to be strong without that while they intend to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Tricky.
That's tricky because it's a lot of just wading into the fucking weeds and doing the work that nobody wants to do.
Yeah.
Right? And which is not, accountants aren't necessarily the sexiest people, but damn it, we need them.
Well, and I guess
love mine.
Yeah, I love an accountant too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like when you think of an accountant,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's also that goes a little ways towards explaining why the people we know who've had some success, like you and Pat and some other people, are people who've taken it upon themselves outside of the political realm. And they may appeal to the political realm where they have the opportunity or the need to, but for the most part, it's like private people deciding that I'm going to make a difference in as big of a way as I can, and I'm going to do what's in front of me to make it happen.
I mean, I think it would be nice if the local government aligned to some degree with what we're trying to do. I mean, like things like my plumbing yard would get broken into repeatedly and the police wouldn't even come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that it would be nice if the police will come.
And is that literally people just stealing pipe to sell it for recycling?
All type of try to get inside the van and steal the van or steal tools or whichever, whatever, or steal gas out of the gas tank.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think that enforcing the laws that we actually already have, building upon the systems that we have in place.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the issues with the police, I don't think were ever addressed in any way that's like
that was kind of weird. Like
beneficial.
Everybody had it was like a big falling out where a lot of the police were like, we're fucking out of here. And then people were like, yeah, we're defunding you and da-da-da. And then it literally just happened.
Well, and I never heard anyone mention the police unions.
Yeah, totally.
At all.
Yeah.
Totally.
And how the police unions have protected them from the bad ones being fired.
Yeah.
And
which is very necessary. It's like you gotta clean it up.
Absolutely. So I mean, it's either this bad scenario or that bad scenario. The police don't come, or the police come and kill people. Can we have something in between?
Let me just take a report.
I'll tell you, I thought it was a little bit ironic that the people's solution to the problem with police was to defund them, but there's just nowhere in the world where broke people make better decisions because they're broke. You know what I mean? Any place in the world where police don't get paid enough, cartels run them.
Absolutely.
They're like, well, we'll pay you.
Yeah.
I have a business and it needs protecting.
Well, and I think is, from what I understand, one of the ideas behind the whole defunding of the police thing is some of that money needs to go into counterparts for the police, such as people that de-escalate, people that deal with people with
de-escalation training,
illness,
psychological training, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
totally. Maybe mental health workers to be on the payroll.
Yeah, but
all of that's great ideas.
But sucking all the money out of it doesn't create anything.
And all of those are great ideas. But what I saw was a lot of here's a first step. Now we got this guy in place. Where does it go from there?
Yeah.
We're not building the pipeline.
I agree.
We just have a front-facing piece now.
Yeah, I saw that we had a problem, and then I haven't heard anything since.
Well, it's the same in action.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's inaction. Inaction is not an action. And,
Yeah.
taking, I don't know, how long have we had laws as a human?
Yeah, totally.
We've had laws for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And the way that those laws are implemented and enforced and what happens when they're broken, even though that needs to be revolutionized in a lot of different ways, removing it is not an option.
Well, I mean, there has to be some kind of basic guidelines for us to bump into. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that, as someone who's been to prison, as someone who's experienced this, I'm a firm believer in, like, I believe that there's people that need to go to prison. Like, one of the things that we've taken away is, like, I don't think we should lock up people that are obviously sick, obviously mental ill, that we could build some kind of pathway back to citizenship. I believe if you've been to prison, there should be some kind of pathway back to quote unquote citizenship too. I think they should be very clear guidelines. I think you should, if you've done something heinous enough to go to prison, you go there. If it's not deferred, you go there, you get out, and they're like, if you go from here to there and you do all of these things, we'll expunge your record, da-da-da. That does exist now, but there's a lot of money. There's a lot of paying people. There's no clear pathway to becoming a quote unquote citizen again. You have to come out of there's more monetary punitive damage done to you to try to make it so you could just be normal and live a normal life. Like, as someone who's been to prison, I want to have a gun. I never had a violent crime, right? But now I have to pay all these things to get back into citizenship. Those types of deals, right? I know that's a very extreme, but
there's a lot of people that study these things and have, like, answers to these questions, and maybe we could just get them involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just ignore it.
I literally, like, I don't want to sit here and pretend like I'm an expert on psychology, because I mean, I'm not. I mean,
but you know enough to know enough.
I know when I see something that's obviously not working.
Absolutely.
And I know when I see, science and studies not being, like, put into process.
Yeah.
Which seems to happen more and more in these times.
Yes, on both sides, really. I don't.
All around,
Yeah.
Yeah, like the denial of science has become a wild thing.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, from everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, what's gonna, my ideas about what's gonna work or not work, are just kind of a jumping off place as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I know what doesn't work, and I know United States prisons are a disgrace, really.
I feel like our ideas are like the farmer who finds a funny piece of clay when he's digging through his farm.
Yeah.
And what does he do then? He calls archaeologists.
Yeah, totally.
Archaeologists understand. Archaeologists have a scientific method, and then they come out and that's like we're like the farmers, and we need some archaeologists here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I think through lived experience, I mean, we've all everybody in this room has seen what works and what doesn't work with people trying to come back into society or get sober or maintain sobriety or rebuild their life or just figure out how to be a functional person, right? Like we have a lot of that evidence-based stuff, but it seems like you said, a lot of it is just ignored.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think part of it is, we are a democratic system, which, is an imperfect system. I don't advocate for anything different, but what we do is, a lot of people who aren't experts in a field get to vote and have their say and say, we think that these drug addicts are sad and we don't want them to go to jail, and it's, my neighbor, told me if their son's like that, and I think it's an illness, and which I don't disagree.
Well, it's a lot of the pendulum swinging back and forth to extremes instead of trying to find the answer in the middle.
Right. And I mean, I think it's also, you spoke on education being a right. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of this information, it has to be taught.
Yeah.
You know, if someone doesn't know, they don't know, and
Right.
and they go off of what they hear. And
Again, the shit that you have to unlearn. Like I see a lot of people carrying their parents or their grandparents or their great grandparents ideas into modern fucking
and
problems.
social
Absolutely.
media, right?
Yeah,
It's just like so polarizing, where it's like none of that stuff that you see is facts.
No.
Yeah.
And you know, if voters were more educated, I think they would make different choices.
Well, and I think that that's probably part of the problem, right? Like, there's a part of me that wants to make my choices based off emotion because it feels like I'm validated, and justified and righteous. But there is a part of me that definitely is like, no, we shouldn't be making political decisions for everybody based on how we feel about something.
The main reason that a mature person decides to try to regulate their emotions is because you gain experience
Absolutely.
with making bad decisions from an emotional place, you know?
That just don't pan out.
Yeah, and as a society, as a democratic society, I think a lot of times we're placed in positions to make large, huge decisions about how and who is going to run policy from an emotional place, you know, instead of from a calm, measured,
Rational.
logical, rational place.
Totally.
And does it feel to you too like the choices are very limited?
Absolutely.
It feels to me like it's the exact same choice.
I can vote for either black or white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But what about purple?
Yeah.
It's not on the purple.
From what I know of purple, I think it's pretty cool. Right?
So,
Yeah, it's regal.
yeah.
Well, they have runoff voting.
For somebody like me to get into politics, I would have to, it would be a sacrifice.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, there's
yeah,
no,
yeah.
There would be no benefit
No.
to me
Yeah.
personally. And so it's like, why would someone who's, you know, experienced in business, experienced in reentry, experienced in, you know, lived, I mean, I have 21 years sober.
Yeah.
Why would someone like me want to do that? You
It
know?
would take someone that either is massively moved in their heart to be helpful, or, and I think more often, someone who finds a way to make it useful to them
Right.
by creating partnerships.
That's the problem.
You know, yeah,
That's a big problem.
and that is you know,
It feels like you could make a good decision if that was the point of you doing it.
right?
Yeah, the first decision you made in it was bad.
Yeah, how are you going to be impartial? How are you going to work for the
I hate
benefit of
bathroom
everyone?
So, Louise, tell us about some stuff from your childhood. Like, who are you? Where, you know, you're from here. What's the deal?
Yeah. How did we get here?
How did we get to Louise today?
Well, I grew up in Beacon Hill. I'm from a large Catholic family.
So you're a real OG Seattleite. You're from Seattle.
I'm from Beacon Hill.
She's from
Nice.
one of the Norwegian families from Seattle.
Yeah, right. That we talked about.
I
Yeah.
definitely have some Norwegian in me. We all went to St. George
Okay.
in Beacon Hill. So Catholic school,
What was that like?
terrible.
That was what, the 70s, 80s? Like,
Yeah, I was born in 1970, so
yeah.
I spent the 70s, you know, in Beacon Hill going to Catholic grade
Smacked
school.
on the hand with a ruler kind of shit. Like,
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
all that. Yeah.
All that, yeah. And so I'm the youngest of 9.
9.
I know a lot of her family.
I didn't know that until we were chatting a little bit earlier, and I was like, oh shit, that's a big family.
Definitely. So my older siblings raised me,
Yeah.
basically.
What's the age range in siblings, sir?
20 years between the oldest and the youngest.
All right.
So
Yeah.
the older kids I didn't really know.
Yeah.
As the kids, we didn't live in the same house. They grew up in a different environment than
Okay.
me. So there's the 3 of us, well, probably 4 of us, the younger ones, grew up together, basically.
Yeah.
Alice, Joe.
Alice, John, Joe, and me.
Yeah.
And we walked to school together, and it was pretty chill. You know, Seattle was small then.
Yeah.
And then I had older brothers and sisters, and you know, in the 70s.
Yeah.
The 70s were a really different time. I mean, drugs were super prevalent. You know, my older siblings were doing drugs and stuff, and
Yeah.
so that kind of was my influence.
Popping Reds and Black Beauties and shit.
Yeah, all type of
I remember those things.
all type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, the 70s and 80s were crazy too.
Yeah.
I started, hanging out in the university district. Mm-hmm. That's a whole separate thing.
Right.
It's a whole
There's been many
situation.
generations of AVRATs.
Yeah, I was definitely an AVRAT. Mm-hmm. And so, things got off to a rough start for me.
Was Capitol Hill not the place back then?
Capitol Hill was a place,
Right.
and the U District was a different place.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there were some interactions with the two.
Yeah.
I spent some time up there too.
Yeah.
And know, all those people from that time period. Everyone
Right.
knows everyone.
Yeah.
Because it was Seattle was a small place.
Yeah.
So from about 85 to about 88, I spent in the university district,
Interesting. Yeah.
running amok and all that. And I got introduced to 12-step programs right around there. I was about 18, 19 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And
Same.
I got introduced to 12-step programs and really, I needed it, but I don't know how ready I was for it.
Yeah.
So I definitely spent some time there, and I'm sure that it saved my life to some degree in those times. It was pretty wild back then.
If nothing else, it let you know where to go.
It did. I spent like 3 years there, and know that I was 100% ready.
What were your favorite drugs?
More.
That's my people right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I've done all types of drugs, and I've been drinking since I was a small child.
Sure.
And smoking pot since I was before high school. Mm-hmm. Yep. And anyway,
right,
so that tracks. And anyway, I love 12-step programs. I really got a lot out of going and learned a lot from the people. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't know that I was 100% ready.
Sure.
And so, I kind of came in and out, and did some things.
Bounced
Bounced around, did some things.
Yeah.
And I spent a fair amount of time, WCCW, Purdy.
Yeah.
I spent time there. After that.
What did you get sent there for? If you know.
For a drug charge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's common.
I was selling drugs.
Yeah.
So.
When that was back in when you get cracked selling drugs.
I was a budding entrepreneur.
I always tell people the first sign of a wayward entrepreneur is you're like, I like drugs. I'll sell drugs.
Yeah.
Let's get into the access chain on this. And
right. It made perfect sense to me. I think I've always been good at math and I understood the opportunity.
With the Blake decision, did it completely?
Not any simple possession, State v. Blake.
Yeah.
What are you talking about right now?
Well,
you said Blake decision. I went blank.
State versus Blake is a decision on possession of controlled substance, and it was the case was about a person, and I think they had a small amount of drugs in the little coin pocket of a pair of Levi's. If I remember,
Sure.
heard the story
I think that sounds right.
Right.
And they said they didn't know they possessed.
Right.
They didn't know it wasn't their pants.
Yeah.
It was their friend's pants, and they were wearing their friend's pants. And I think that's how it went. And they took it to
the Supreme Court.
The head court of Washington State, and they agreed that maybe you should have to prove that the person knew they were in possession. It switched the burden of proof. And every possession case in Washington, if you requested it, was removed, dissolved, like it never happened.
Never happened.
It's easier than fighting it from their end, So
I don't know that they could have. I think the decision kind of forced that issue.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd returned a bunch of money.
Yeah, all the LFOs.
When did that happen?
3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that's recent. Okay, yeah.
So I'd paid a bunch of money towards those kinds of drug charges.
Yeah, yeah.
Buxus and violation of the Uniform Controlled Substance Act.
Yeah.
And they took that money and applied it other places. They gave me the money back.
Cool.
I did get all of any charges taken off of my record since then. And it's been, quite some time. I've been sober for 21 years, and that was a very long time ago.
Yeah.
It was a whole lifetime ago.
It was a whole lifetime ago.
Right.
I could feel what it was like because it was so it had such an impact on me. I spent 4 years in prison in a row.
Yeah.
And I know it saved my life. I did not take anything seriously before that happened.
Right.
I mean, I got away with a lot of things and really just got slapped on the wrist again and again. And that experience taught me a bunch of things. One was that, this is really my life is not a joke.
Right.
It's one of the things. And that the prison system needed reforming.
Yeah.
I talked earlier about these ideas about, voters vote that, there shouldn't be college in prisons, and my kids don't get to go to college.
Right.
So, and that is what was happening right when I got there. They had college classes before I got there, but by the time I got there, they were gone. And
Wow.
there was really,
And I bet if they would look at the numbers, they would see that their positive numbers dropped because of that.
Sure.
for me, it kind of left me with very little to do. I mean, I tutored some people while I was there, mostly like basic math stuff.
I had a good math brain as a kid too.
Yeah. And I mean, other than that, it was pretty much kind of dead time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, and for me, I went to meetings while I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I did too.
I made the best of what I could do.
Yeah.
But there really was, it was really definitely dead time.
Yeah.
Meetings in the joint, it's just literally going through the motions of going to a meeting. It's not like a lot of.
Were those meetings that people were bringing in, or they're just yeah.
Yeah, they made you go to treatment too, which was kind of a joke, actually.
Going to prison yourself and then getting out. I mean, I think that there's the obvious ways that might have informed what you later did for the three of us. But in what ways do you feel like maybe aren't apparent that you being in prison and you getting out and your trials and tribulations doing that? Because you had to get out and build your whole life too. And one of the things that, like, one of the huge gifts that you gave me was like, you were like, I don't think people understand when you first get out, like in your head, you're like, fuck man, like this is it for the rest of my life. Like I'm this guy. And one of the things you taught me was like, you're not that guy. You don't have to be that guy. You will choose to be that guy or not. So in this experiment that we did, in what ways did your going to prison inform it that we might not know? If that makes any sense.
Well,
Yeah. What were those first couple of years out of prison like?
oh man, devastating.
Terrifying. They're terrifying.
They're really terrifying. I think terrifying is, it may not be the right word. I think it's, I found it really hard to relate to anyone that hadn't been to prison.
Yeah.
I found regular people, and like I said, 12-step programs were like a really cool place for me to be, and I really loved meetings and the people I met there.
Yeah.
But when I got out of prison, I felt an alien from them too. And it was a struggle to like find people who, understood what I was going through on like an emotional level. And like there's a piece that's broken to some degree that it's just hard to talk about. But when you know someone else understands it,
Yeah.
there's an instant connection with them.
Absolutely.
It's easy to,
They know.
yeah, it's easy to talk to them about, being scared or like, you know, a lot of people, they wanted to go back
Yeah.
because they felt familiar there and the world felt scary, you know.
Well, you know, I feel, and this is a little bit of an outsider's perspective. Society is really failing when getting out of prison, when someone who has gotten out of prison wants to go back because their basic human needs are met there and they don't have to worry about it. And it seems to me like part of that element is that like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of freedom taken away, but I won't have to worry about lodging and food.
Well, it's not only the lodging and food. You're absolutely correct.
And community.
Yeah, I think it would. Well, okay, so here's a good example. I don't know if you experienced this, Louise, but I still experience this to some extent. But when I first got out, I would go to work and I would come home, and I was living in a house with a friend of mine. I had a room. I didn't have a house. We had a shared kitchen, shared living room. And he was like, how come you're never in the living room? Because I would go to work, come home, go in my room, and I would program. I would sit on my bed and I would watch TV, and I would go take a shower and then come back and I would sit on my bed and I would watch TV.
Yeah.
And that little bit of space is all I needed to feel okay, to feel safe. And my door was always closed, and I would come and I would lock myself in and I would sit there and I would watch TV and program like I would program in prison.
It's funny, while I'm realizing why I've always related to people who've been to prison, because my childhood made me that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was basically born into a one-man prison.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And to this day, if I feel overwhelmed,
Same.
I go back and I sit on my bed and I watch that TV and program, as you call it.
Program.
You know?
It's program.
Now I have a word for it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a element of structure too for a lot of people.
That's the programming, yeah.
Yeah, they just, you know, they know what to expect every day, you know, and it is basic needs too. And it's like there's a lot of people that are like they're never going to achieve the type of lifestyle that they have when they're doing the wrong thing.
Sure.
So if you're doing the wrong thing, you're eating, you're surviving, you're drinking, you have, you know, sexual partners, like people want to be around you. But when you're doing the right thing, you're washing dishes, you can barely survive.
Yeah.
You smell like old food, and nobody wants to date you, and you're, you know, half crazy anyways.
Right.
You know? I mean, it's like,
There's a reason you went that route in the first place.
right. It's not an excuse for reoffending, but it's definitely an understandable direction that people take based on the fact that, you know, 1 + 1 is 2. And
Well, if we're going to fix anything, we have to try to understand it, you know?
yeah.
One of the coldest things that I got told when I went to prison is, and this sounds cheesy as fuck, but this dude was like, look, man, everybody here is doing their number. And if you don't do your number and you start trying to do other people's numbers, then you're going to get in a big fucking wreck.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know what he meant by that at the time. And then the next thing he told me was, the best way to do your number is to program. You got to have a program, because if you don't have something that's going to keep you centered and keep you moving along, you're going to start doing other people's numbers.
Yeah.
You're going to get involved in shit that you don't need to be involved in.
Right.
You're going to fucking speak up when you shouldn't speak up. Just do your program. What's your program today? This, that, and this.
Which is funny, because that was his version of like emotional regulation.
Yep.
You know?
He's like, just stay the fuck on your own program. Get up and do your shit. And don't worry about what anybody else is fucking doing.
Which in its own way, I mean, the skill is different in there, but it's the type of skill that is valuable in life.
Yeah.
As so many things we learn on the wrong side of the tracks are.
Yep.
We just need to figure out, or we need to be shown by someone who's been there, how we can translate that skill over into
100%.
And that's what you helped. That was one of the things that you definitely helped.
Well, yeah, because I really tried to use anything I had going for me to, you know, I mean, when I finally got sober this time, you know, I was in my 30s. I really had nothing.
It's a common theme.
I had
How
nothing.
long was that after you'd gotten out of prison?
That was about 3 years after I got out.
Okay.
Was when I finally,
Yeah.
I had come to an emotional bottom for myself. And I didn't really think I was going to make it ever.
No, neither.
And I just was willing to do anything to make a change. And, I had heard a lot of things in many meetings, and kind of took what I liked and left the rest.
Yeah.
And I left a lot of the parts.
Yeah. Yeah. When I'm coming in off the streets and you tell me take what you want and leave the rest, I'm going to leave a lot.
I need the part where I get laid and I get some food.
And so after that, I really kind of pretty much did whatever. I got someone that I respected and pretty much worked with them for a couple of years solid on like personal work.
Yeah.
And really got to a place where, everything changed. But I had nothing.
Yeah.
I had no opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have gotten a job. I mean, I had a criminal history. And I actually started my own business.
Yeah.
And that's, I didn't feel like I could get a job that would pay me what I was used to making. And I had a friend that I had gotten clean with that wanted to do it too. And we kind of started a little thing and started working on houses, really.
Yeah.
And it, it kept me interested in it because it's so complex. And I needed something that was like going to challenge me.
Having your own thing is such a important thing. I mean, you're immediately useful. So no matter how bad at life I am at that point, I still have something that I'm trying to, that's positive, And having a business has saved me a lot.
It's one of the most amazing things that I ever did for myself. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for people like me, it's essential. And I had a counselor at treatment one time that was like, for you need to do like 3 jobs.
Yeah.
You can't have time, to like get in your own head.
Yeah, you're a fuck up.
And think about stuff.
Well, some of us are like old trucks, it runs best on a heavy load.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I actually, I thought I found that to be like really good advice. I've like thought back on that many times.
Yeah.
And like, it's bad for me to be bored. I think that, my dad was a sheet metal worker and he worked like every day of his life. He was very hard. I mean, he had 9 children. And
he didn't want to be home.
They don't feed themselves.
So
he had to be busy somehow.
Yeah.
He instilled in me the fact that you have to work or you're not going to be emotionally in a good space.
Yeah.
Like if you have some problem, if you're depressed or bored or whatever your problem, your solution is to go get a job and to work.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's something to that.
Oh, yeah.
Having something to do, having like a purpose, working with a team. And those are the kinds of things that I like brought forward to other people in my business. And in that, reentry situation where it's like, what are you going to do? Sit at your house? You know what I mean?
Totally.
We're working Saturday. You guys don't have nothing better to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Come on, we're doing
Totally.
it.
I was fucking mad at the time. I was.
Of course you were. Yeah.
Mad, right? Like,
You're all, I've earned the right to be bored today.
yeah, totally. And leave me alone. I'm programming all day, right? I'm going to watch the entirety of this season of Peaky Blinders or whatever.
Right.
Meanwhile, you're a few steps ahead going, but do you realize what will happen if you make a habit out of being bored?
Yeah, she was good at, but it was really, yeah.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah, it was a mix, but there was some things. I will say that the intent was good. The delivery wasn't always on point. Not even that we needed to be
I've given
softer.
some real bad deliveries with good intent. in my
Just
life.
fucking, yeah.
That's how I was raised.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So usually at this part of the show, it's like what do you have to pitch? Do you have anything you want to pitch? Do you have anything coming up that you want people to know about? Businesses or like stuff we're talking about doing, even like.
Well, yeah, there's a really
backyard nerd shit.
Yeah, there's a really exciting opportunity that has come from some of this new building code that's come out. And it focuses on single family lots. It focuses on infill, where the previous, you could only build a very small cottage in your backyard. Now you can basically build a whole nother house back there.
Okay.
And so my pitch now is I'm willing to buy backyards. And so I started this little offshoot of my construction company, which it's called We Buy Backyards. And it's a way to monetize your grass that you're tired of mowing in your backyard.
Yeah.
And so I've done a ton of infill. So I'm working on a project in West Seattle now, where we keep the existing house, so it keeps the spirit of the neighborhood alive. And there's a huge backyard there, and it's on a corner, and there's an alley. Perfect candidate. And we're going to build a couple houses in the backyard there. So for me, it's a great way to keep the costs down, which, can pass on to the end user by maintaining that existing house.
Right.
And building in space that it essentially isn't being used, and creating more housing for people in neighborhoods that are livable and nice. And
that's a win-win-win. That gives a homeowner who may be financially stressed a way to create some space there. It gives people who can't afford a lot of homes a way to get into something that's comfortable and in a good place. That's
sure.
Yeah, that's win-win-win.
Weezy, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for getting me here. If it wasn't for you when I first got out, this wouldn't be happening right now. You've been a major influence in my life in a lot of ways. And I love you and respect you, and just want to tell you thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. It was awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's it.